You ready?
Yeah.
So literally just now, a full trailer was released for El Camino. And especially after getting that teaser yesterday, I didn't think we were actually going to get a full trailer. But they made one and it shows so much, so I'm just going to get straight into breaking it down. It's important to note as well, this is really more like a crime drama now. It seems to be taking a much more realistic turn than Breaking Bad and even Better Call Saul has. Of course, we knew Jesse would be on the run, but it's such a different tone to what I thought. The first shot is a load of police cars riding down a road in a similar setting to where the finale was, with them just about missing Jesse, and we see Jesse ducking down in his El Camino. I originally thought they'd be looking for the El Camino, but it seems they don't actually know that's his car yet. Then we see Jesse arrive at Skinny Pete and Badger's house. So this is where he really went after the finale. This does seem to be exactly where he went when he escaped. And so the first parts of this movie will be set just after he left Walter. In the next shot we see Jesse laying down in one of their beds. Now this means he's probably stayed there for the whole night, but I think it's pretty clear from how we can see Jesse, he will be hallucinating in this movie. And you've seen the title of this video, you know what he's gonna see, I think it's in this trailer too. But Jesse is so much more messed up than we all thought. And of course I knew this was Badger's house as well, because we see Badger in the next shot. We can't hear what they say, but we do see Jesse nod in the next shot. And in the next shot, he is showering. This is why I don't think we're going to be seeing Skinny Pete and Badger in the last few parts of the movie. I think they're going to be in the first bit to just really lift Jesse up and get him off. Get him shaved and changed so that he can go off to whatever he's going to do. And what this looks like he's going to be doing is running away to somewhere that he's previously said he wanted to go. Of course, Alaska was in his mind in season 5. But in season 2, the more sentimental thing he wanted to do was go to New Zealand. That's possible as well, but I don't think he's going to be getting on a plane anytime soon. What this movie has suggested is that he's always going to be in his El Camino. That's how he's going to be getting around. That's why it's called El Camino. Not only did he escape the finale in it, but I think he's going to be escaping the law in it. When we see Jesse in the shower, we see the scars on his back, and he really was hurt a lot more than we all thought. We knew Jack and his crew had done horrible stuff to him mentally and physically, but I think this movie is going to shine a light on more of the things that happened to him, because he's really messed up. In the finale, we saw how desperate and manically he wanted to get out of there, but we didn't know he was this messed up, or at least I never saw that. He seems to be almost broken by this. And then we see Jesse, he's clean, he's shaved, he's all changed, and now he's ready. Now this is crazy to think about because we haven't actually seen Jesse Pinkman like this since Ozymandias. In the last couple of episodes of Breaking Bad, he was beaten and he was in a cage. Now in this shot, you can actually see Badger behind him as well as Skinny Pete. If you look through the reflection of the window, you can see him a bit. But if you look at the expression on Skinny Pete and Badger's face, they're almost weirded out by Jesse. They're almost confused for him. So I think in this shot right here, he's seeing his first hallucination, possibly. He could just be looking outside at his El Camino. The next shot shows Jesse standing outside of his El Camino, and it's interesting how comfortable he now is with using a gun. He used to be so sensitive to it, but after all that's happened to him, he doesn't care anymore. Then we see this shot of two figures standing and looking into a lake. Now I'll zoom in, who does this look like to you? On the left it looks like Jesse, and on the right it looks like Mike Ehrmantraut. In fact, I'm pretty certain it is. Yesterday, Jonathan Banks, the actor for Mike, actually confirmed that he was in this movie. Of course, most likely as a hallucination, which is really cool to see, and I think I get why Mike would appear in this shot. Of course, when Walter killed Mike was looking into a lake before he died. And so Jesse's visioning Mike, and I think Mike's going to comfort him, get him ready for the road ahead, or maybe even get him ready for death. Maybe that's why Jesse is seeing all of these characters. Maybe he knows that at the end of this road, he will have to die or get caught. And so all of the fallen characters that Jesse knew in Breaking Bad are going to revisit him. Make sure his mind stays straight for when he gets out. Of course, Vince Gilligan said that 10 characters would return, and in yesterday's video we spoke about all the 10 characters that could return that wouldn't be hallucinations. I mean, we said Jesse would see Walter White, but none of the characters I said would return that were still alive. But especially with Mike being in this movie now, it's likely that the majority of those characters will be hallucinations. It confuses me a bit though when I see behind these two figures, what are most likely Jesse and Mike, are two cars. We see Jesse's El Camino and a different looking car. It's not even Mike's car from Breaking Bad. Unless that's Jesse's El Camino on the right and Mike's imaginary car on the left. Of course, we know Mike's car was destroyed by Todd in Breaking Bad, but let's not forget this is an hallucination. I hated that Mike had to die in Breaking Bad. I think it's genuinely one of the most pointless deaths that TV has ever done. It was good, it was well done, it was sad, but in hindsight, I really don't see the point of that happening. It seemed it was just done to get Mike out of the picture. Maybe Vince Gilligan can do something where he brings Mike back. That isn't an hallucination. But let's not forget, we saw him fall to the floor from being shot by Walter. We saw him in the boot of Walter's car, and they were in the middle of putting him into a barrel and dissolving him. But it's really interesting that Mike's back, and I think it's going to be really, really good either way, whatever happens. In the next shot, we see Jesse, and it looks like he's out on the road, like in public for the first time since he's left Skinny Pete and Badger's house. And he's getting really nervous, which he seems to have taken control of by the end of the movie. We'll get into that in a bit. Now, here's what I mean by this movie will kind of shed more light on what happened to Jesse, more than what we've already seen from Breaking Bad already. We see the lab that Jesse was cooking in. The picture of Andrea and Brock on the wall, that's what kind of motivated him to keep cooking in the first place. And behind them we see the silhouette of a few characters, and the one nearest to the photo looks like Todd. I'll put a red circle around where I think, but that looks like Jesse also chained up to the ceiling like he was in Breaking Bad. And so I think this is another flashback. I mean, obviously it makes more sense for this to be the police, but it just looks like a flashback. It looks like Todd, it looks like Jesse on the right of the screen. And if this is the case, we're going to be seeing every single one of Jack and his crew back in a flashback scene. We're going to be seeing more of what happened whilst Walter was at New Hampshire. And I think it's important that more fuel is added to the fire of Jesse being tortured. I think more depth does need to be added to what he went through so that we understand why he's in such a state in this movie. Now, in that shot where we saw Jesse and Mike looking at the lake, we saw this same car behind them both. It's not the El Camino. So it's possible Jesse no longer is in that El Camino by the end of the movie. It would make sense for him to be in this car because he's driving out away from everything. It makes sense for him to be escaping like that. You could say it looks a bit like Gus's car. If you know about cars, just let me know in the comments what you think this might be. If you look on the back, there are 2 red stripes. The official promo poster for El Camino, it has these 2 red stripes on it, so it's a reference to this. That's interesting. Is it foreshadowing his escape or the complete opposite of that? Then we see this weird shot of Jesse with his finale look, but he's in a desert burying something, what looks to be like money or bodies. I think this is completely symbolic. I think it's imaginary. I think Jesse will dream all of this, and it will be almost symbolic for him burying the bodies of his past, most likely, as we know, Walter White. It could even just be money. In the next shot, really quick shot, we do see this whole desert, and at the bottom right of the screen we see where Jesse was burying. Jesse is nowhere to be seen, so he's probably just walked off somewhere. It's probably just a dream. Then we see Jesse upset. It looks like he's too late for something. I think in this shot he's in the house that he bought for Andrea and Brock, and he's gone back there to find no trace or sign of Brock, and he really would have no idea where they would be now. Of course, he still probably feels massively responsible for what happened to Andrea, and he'd probably have no clue of where to find Brock. In the next shot we see Jesse sneaking past this house, and it looks really similar to where Andrea would have lived. So I do think part of Jesse's plan in this movie is to go and find Brock. But I don't think he'll actually succeed in doing that, because just before this shot, we see him in what looks like to be the back of a truck or a quiet room where he's going to get something obviously illegal out of. I couldn't even begin to guess what that could be, but it's got to be something to do with legal documents of Jesse Pinkman. Even if Jesse had another chance with Ed the Disappearer, I don't think he has the money to do that. And so I think it's going to be up to him to go and do it himself, or at least find someone that can do that for him. In a quick shot we see Jesse pick up a beetle, and I think that's a callback to season 2. Skinny Pete came along and killed it, and that was like a small moment where we saw the real Jesse Pinkman, the real sweeter side to him. Thing is, here he looks a bit nervous, so it would be quite a twist if he ended up killing the beetle, maybe showing that the sweeter side to him is gone. The child within him no longer has any potential. Then we see a junkyard for cars. Now I don't think this is the one that they used in Breaking Bad. I don't think it would make sense for Jesse to still be around there, but then again it would. We see Jesse driving a different car later on in the movie. I mean, that's pretty likely, and I think he can trust the junkyard that he used earlier on in the show, so he would go there to get his El Camino crushed. Remember Old Joe from Breaking Bad? Old Joe is who they went to crush their cars, their RV, So if Jesse is driving a different car, it's likely he does the same to the El Camino. Now this shot is very interesting. On the monitor to the right, we see Jesse on the news. This is the first we see of how big this has got on Jesse's side. They're using a picture of Jesse when he's slightly younger, so it's actually much easier for him now. He's got a shaved head and he's a bit older. And of course, to the left of the screen, we see a pair of legs that look really similar to old Joe. This is probably old Joe, and so confirms that this is the junkyard that the characters use in Breaking Bad. Then we see Jesse stealthily sliding down a doorway. And on the right, we see "Please do not cross" lines. Of course, that yellow tape suggests that it's a crime scene. Now, of course, it's a bad place for a wanted person to be, but I think he's here to remove any evidence that he had anything to do with it. Breaking Bad took place over the course of 2 years. This could actually be Gal Betica's apartment. Although it feels like ages ago when Jesse killed Gal, it was only actually 2 years. So this could be that. But saying that, there's actually no evidence that Jesse was even there. But either way, it's got to be something to do with Jesse removing any documents that suggest he had anything to do majorly with Walter White. But of course, remember the underlying fact that Jesse is most likely on the hook, like Vince Gilligan said years ago, for killing Hank and Steve Gomez. Then we see a few shots of Jesse using a lighter to ignite tanks and weird objects. And the only thing I could really do to assemble all of these pictures would be to say that Jesse's gone back to Jack's compound. That's where it looks like he is, but I think it's just mainly a mission to get rid of all evidence and all documents of Jesse Pinkman at all, not even just criminal, but the fact he ever existed. And then we see a man almost start a duel with Jesse. Although it seems serious, like Jesse's actually going to have to kill him, Jesse's reaction suggests it's not that at all, that it's a joke. This could possibly even be Ed the Disappearer, or someone else that's going to disappear Jesse. In the good way. I think this is one of the final scenes of the movie. Whoever this is telling Jesse, "Are you ready?" and he says yes, and I think this is to his new life, his new identity. I think this would mean different to in the way that Saul left for a new life though. This seems to be almost like he's staying criminal. Like his new life is working for an organization or a criminal enterprise that uses people like Jesse. Or this is quite obviously someone that Jesse already knows. I mean, that's the reaction he had, but it could be an hallucination of Walter White. But I think that's the main secret of this movie. There's going to be a real surprise hallucination. I think that's why it was done so secretly. No filming has been seen or anything, because there's going to be so many returning characters, dead or alive. And I think there's going to be a massive twist. Like, this trailer has kind of made me think it's more a criminal drama like it is, but each teaser has given me a different feel to it. So, and this trailer's done that as well, but there's a lot more to this for sure. My theory about Jesse finding Saul still stands, but I think it's a lot less likely now. It's completely different to what I thought. By the end of the movie, Jesse seems to be a bit less desperate than what he was. So maybe he's really just going to get away and have a happy ending. But that's just what I think. What do you think? On the top right of your screen, you're going to see an eye icon. Just click or tap on that and you can vote in the poll. Do you agree with what I've said in this video? Do you think Jesse really will just have a happy ending now? Make sure to let me know what you think. And of course, don't just vote in the poll. Make sure to comment down below what you think. I genuinely want to hear what you think on this. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to press the like button. It actually genuinely helps this video get seen and will support me. And if you did enjoy it, make sure to check out my videos that are similar to this one. In yesterday's video, we predict the 10 returning characters that will return in El Camino. And we discuss further whether that radio really confirms whether Walter White is dead or not. Make sure to go and check that one out. And of course, make sure to subscribe so that you are the first to hear about El Camino. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.